John, this is the laminating process where we're combining two sheets of EVA material into one to start the process of manufacturing SeaDek.
We've changed locations on you. We're now in Rockledge, Florida. This is where they make SeaDek, and we have the thrill of having the president of the company on the program. This is Kurt Wilson. And Kurt, you have a long history kind of making this foam, okay, from the surf industry. You brought it into boating. But SeaDek apparently is a couple of different pieces of foam that are somehow laminated together. What do you do to the foam to get it to stick to one another?
We contact cement them with a high strength contact adhesive.
So you have to put this on both pieces of foam, trowel it out, roll it out like traditional working with contact cement, and then they come together and they go into this laminator, and you laminate the two together.
Right. All
right. Now, Chuck Yates in Tupper Lake was showing me that these samples of SeaDek actually have like some type of a non-skid. I'm not seeing it on this foam, and I want some non-skid for the seats on my Alumacraft.
Well, that's the next step in the process. After the laminating, it'll go into our embossing process, which through the use of heat and pressure, we're able to apply that microdot texture, as we call it, to your product.
It resembles very much, this is almost like a traditional molded in non-skid that a lot of boaters are very familiar with and comfortable with. So it's not just aesthetics, it's also giving you traction.
Absolutely.
Okay. Chuck was telling me you kind of just stick this down, all right? I don't see any adhesive anywhere to where I can stick anything down. How do you get it to stick?
It's one of the great things about SeaDek is that it's a peel and stick application. We use pressure sensitive adhesives to apply SeaDek with.
And is that again a laminating process, or is that an embossing process?
We use a laminating process to apply that PSA material to the EVA.
Up in Tupper Lake, your digitizer was brought to the set, and literally my seats were digitized. What do you do with the information once you do have somebody's boat digitized?
We bring the digitizer back here to the factory. It goes into the computer design department. The digitizer is connected to Ryan's CPU unit, where that digitized information is downloaded into his design software, cleaned up and converted into cut patterns for our CNC equipment to use to make the product.
And again, if you don't have the time or wherewithal to get to somebody's boat, or if you don't have the manufacturer's drawings or design or whatever, you can send out Mylar kits. People can trace out what they need on their swim platform, send it to you, you digitize it here, and you do the cutting process.
At that stage, it's basically the same operation as what we're doing with your boat.
So you import the digitized information into your computer, and that's what gets it to talk to the cutting apparatus?
Right.
Could you show me some SeaDek getting cut?
Sure.
Lead the way.
The reason we use the 3-axis router is it gives us the kind of precision to execute a logo like you've seen here.
So not only can you put in logos like the ship-shaped TV logo right here, you can also put in boat manufacturers' logos, or maybe somebody has, a custom name for a boat. You can really dress up the look of the craft with the SeaDek.
Just about anything you can think of.
Okay, so this is what's called a CNC machine. It's linked to your computers to where your digital information, everything is communicating, and we're getting a precise three-dimensional type of cut.
Right.
How do we cut the perimeter for the seat? Is that with the same machine? Do you have to use different bits? And I'm not asking you to give away anything proprietary here.
Well, in this case, because this is a thick material and you're looking for cushioning, we're going to put a nice tapered bevel around the perimeter of it so there's no trip hazards.
Okay, so on my fishing skiff, if I'm to step from seat to seat to seat, you're going to keep me from having a toe stubber.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, you really have my mind kind of going on different project boats that we have in different applications for this SeaDek, and I'd like to put it on several of my project boats.
I'd like to help.
But Kurt, thank you so much for the look around.
Thanks, John.
Hey, we need to real quick take a very short time out, but keep it right here because when we come back, we're back in Tupper Lake. We're going to show you how easy it is to install the product called SeaDek on the Alumacraft. We'll cover it right after this critical timeout. Don't go anywhere.
Instead of traditional non-skid that is slippery, smelly, or just plain uncomfortable, your boat demands that you stick it with SeaDek, the exceptionally comfortable EVA foam alternative with an easy peel and stick application. Fishermen, wakeboarders, sailors, scuba divers, or anyone else on board will love it because the wetter it gets, the more traction you get. SeaDek's great for replacing smelly, worn carpet or covering up spider cracks and other surface imperfections, making your boat look like new. Comfort you need, traction you trust. Order today.
Welcome back aboard. Fishing for boat improvement? Well, you caught it right here at ShipShape TV.
Welcome back. Hey, just before the break, we were showing you how a product called SeaDek gets made down in Florida. Well, we're now back here in upstate New York on my 16-foot Alumacraft, and we're going to show you how easy it is to install it. And again, we have Chuck Yates with us from Hyperform. And Chuck, we've already installed a couple of these pads. All right, these seat pads. But the boat was originally very, very dirty. There's a lot of mud, there's a lot of sand here in the Adirondacks. We had to kind of wash it out. But you wanted us to use a special chemical on the actual areas where we're going to be putting these pads on. What was the chemical and what's it for?
Just simply use an ammonia-based window cleaner and a cotton cloth. Clean the surface, remove any wax, oils, grease, sunscreen, things of that nature.
We want to make sure that the adhesive on the back of these pads or deck material, okay, is going to really bond to the surface. Okay,
Correct.
You want to have a good bond. All right, so here we have a pad. It is not installed at all. Okay, and let's show everybody in real time how easy it is to put it into place.
First thing we want to do, John, is pull 3-4 inches of the backing away. Real simple application like this. We're going to square the pad on the deck.
Let's flip it over and do that. Okay, how far do you want me to come off of my gusset, and how far are you coming off of yours?
You are touching it. So it is right on top of it, and then we're squaring it on both the port side, or the bow side, and the starboard, stern side here.
Okay, it looks good.
Okay, I'm going to lightly press it into place. I'm going to check right now. Your side is perfect. Real simple. I'm going to press real hard here, locking it down. I'm going to reach up underneath and pull the rest of the backing away.
Chuck, how long will the adhesive last?
John, you're looking at about 5 to 7 years on your average life expectancy for the pads.
Okay, let me get that paper out.
Take that. If you wouldn't mind, pull that the rest of the way off.
No problem. Got you covered.
Okay. Now we're simply going to roll it into place here, making sure our alignment is just about dead right.
Now, why have you beveled my seat pads on a 45? I don't know if you can see this, but it's definitely on a 45 instead of a traditional type of seat cushion, okay, where it's square.
Trip hazard, John. Traditional seat covers you see have a 40 or straight 90-degree cut. You go to step up on it, you're going to kick the bottom of it here. It's 45. It's real user-friendly.
Fantastic. Okay, and that's basically all there is to it. Chuck, I kind of threw a curveball into this whole project. Earlier in the week, we installed a fish finder on a swivel base, and I know you're cutting these pads to go from gusset to gusset. Can I kind of relieve this with a razor knife?
Sure you can, John, but I suggest you let us take it back to the factory. We'll cut you something with 45-degree bevels on it. Looks like it belongs on ShipShape TV.
You guys are nothing but first class. Thank you so much. Hey, right now we need to take our last time out of the day, but keep it right here because when we come back, we will be back in Florida, and I'm going to show you SeaDek on a couple of our different other project boats. We want to get your wheels spinning, and we'll get into it right after this.
The tool shed's still open, so stick around. ShipShape TV will be back in a flash.
Instead of traditional non-skid that is slippery, smelly, or just plain uncomfortable, your boat demands that you stick it with SeaDek, the exceptionally comfortable EVA foam alternative with an easy peel and stick application. Fishermen, wakeboarders, sailors, scuba divers, or anyone else on board will love it because the wetter it gets, the more traction you get. SeaDek's great for replacing smelly, worn carpet or covering up spider cracks and other surface imperfections, making your boat look like new. Comfort you need, traction you trust. Order today.
That's right. Our project today is pretty much complete, which means we're now back on the water with John.
Well, here we are out on the Atlantic Ocean. I'm trying to do a little bit of bottom fishing. I've got some squid and a little jig with the triple hook kind of set up. I'm trying to see if I get a snapper or something like that. And we have been talking about a product today called SeaDek. And I've installed it on this boat. This is our 28-foot blue water project boat. And check it out. I have a bolster pad on both sides of the craft. And now if I get into a fish, I can lean into this bolster pad and oh my goodness, is it comfortable to the knee and the upper thigh. All right, this is absolutely so easy to put in. All right. Also, check out what I did right in front of my leaning post. I put it on the deck. This way, when I'm standing up running the boat and you start bouncing on those waves, rather than my back taking all of those impacts, okay, this SeaDek is really absorbing a lot of those blows. Okay, it's very, very comfortable to run the boat. I also put it on top of my center console. And check out how clean that installation is. All right? Absolutely a really, really cool product. Now, do you remember my 13-foot Boston Whaler project boat? Well, we put the SeaDek on those benches. We also put 3 pieces up on the forward deck. And I got to tell you, it looks really, really stunning. And we've got a couple of people that we need to thank who helped make today's show possible. First off, we need to thank Chuck Yates, as well as Jason Gardner and Kurt Wilson over there at Hyperform. We also need to thank my guys. They work very hard, but most importantly, we need to thank you. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with us right here on the beautiful water's edge for the last half hour. But we've got to go. I want to do a little bit of fishing. But how about this? How about until we see each other again, can you do yourself a favor? Can you get out there and make your boat ship shape? Of course you can. I'm John Greviskis. We'll see you next time.
Closed captioning for ShipShape TV has been made possible by ShipShapeTV.com, the official website of boaters everywhere.
Instead of traditional non-skid that is slippery, smelly, or just plain uncomfortable, your boat demands that you stick it with SeaDek, the exceptionally comfortable EVA foam alternative with an easy peel and stick application. Fishermen, wakeboarders, sailors, scuba divers, or anyone else on board will love it because the wetter it gets, the more traction you get. SeaDek's great for replacing smelly, worn carpet or covering up spider cracks and other surface imperfections, making your boat look like new. Comfort you need, traction you trust. Order today.